Hi, my name's Adrienne Flynn. My current role is a Pilates and yoga instructor. So I currently teach in a Pilates studio that is owned by someone else, and I work as a contractor. So I come in and I teach Pilates on the apparatuses and I teach large group classes to my clients within the studio. I'm also working on my own online space to train a more broad audience on the internet, and that is at www.thousandfoldlotus.com. The two jobs that I had prior to this one that helped me the most with where I am right now is probably just working part-time at other studios. Before this, I was working at NASA Langley Research Center as the fitness specialist, which is corporate fitness. That job wasn't quite like I was doing right now, so the experience I gained there did not pertain to where I am right now. But I was working part time during that time at Pilates studios and knew I eventually wanted to get into a Pilates studio full time. So, all that experience that I got teaching part time on the apparatuses with clients then led me to where I am now. And the very first job I had right after college probably helped me the most with where I am right now, mainly because I was doing personal training. Um, and I started teaching Pilates on the apparatuses that they had there. They had 5 Pilates reformers. And I had contact with some of the best instructors. So I had mentors all over the place at that job. And that probably helped me the most with where I am right now in getting into the field. So I had gotten out of college and I really didn't know how to apply anything in the job that I was doing. So basically working at that job and working under mentors and having them teach me how to teach people actually gave me the most experience of all. 2 to 4 skills that I use in this role that couldn't be learned in school, I guess you could say, was having an eye for muscular imbalances and seeing when people aren't doing something correctly. So throughout my trainings, I've noticed that this is kind of a innate trait or gift, I guess you could say, that some people have and some people don't. So it's definitely a skill that I just kind of have. I can see in somebody's body when they're not doing something correctly. And of course, that's gotten better with experience, but I would say it's a skill that's really set me apart within this field. And that is not something that is learned in school. Um, I'd also have to say that I have a lot of patience. Um, so I need that in my job. That is not a learned, I guess it can be practiced a little bit. You don't learn it in school though. You kind of just have to have that skill to have patience with somebody, work with them slowly, and understand that you're not always going to be exactly where you want them to be at a certain time. I also have a lot of compassion, which is, I guess, a little bit more of a character trait that is not a learned skill, and I think it helps me get pretty far in my job. And I also am a great communicator, I feel like. I naturally feel like a teacher, so I don't have a problem standing up in front of a group, teaching people. I have pretty good public speaking skills when I'm giving presentations. So I feel like you don't necessarily learn that in school. You can learn tactics for it, but some of these skills you can just pick up by going to specific classes. They have like Toastmasters and different programs to help develop public speaking skills. So those I would say are skills that are required for my job that aren't necessarily learned in school per se. Now, personality strengths for this position, basically who this job was not for would be someone who would be shy or someone who doesn't like to verbalize or teach. When you are teaching Pilates or yoga, you really have to be the leader, you have to be clear with your instruction, and you really have to take a stand and be in charge of the hour that you are teaching. So it's not for somebody who's shy or who likes to just sit behind a desk and be quiet, not speak very much. Um, I do consider myself a little bit of an introvert, but when it comes to teaching, it's kind of like you have to turn on and you have to be large and in charge. So that's kind of a personality strength for this position. So not for someone who's shy or doesn't like to be in the spotlight or doesn't like to lead people. Educational skills that are required. So it says, what coursework in college helped you for this position? I studied exercise science in school. So, where I am at this very moment teaching is Pilates and yoga, I would have to say what I learned in college does not actually pertain to this specific job. And this was my dream job. I wanted to be in a Pilates studio full time working with clients. Now, my two jobs before this, my big full time jobs that I had before this full time job, did require a degree. My first one required a degree, and I kind of understand why. Same with my one at NASA, corporate fitness. And I did get to apply a little bit more of my degree in that one. I was doing lots of lunch and learn presentations and lots of write ups, articles, and programs for my clients there. But right now, I pretty much could have just gone from high school right into the Pilates trainings. And as long as I fell into the lap of some really good mentors, the exact job that I'm in right now does not require a degree at all. And I could have done it without one, I'd have to say. um, so, intangible skills you look for in a new hire. So, if I were hiring someone new, an intangible skill or trait, I guess you could say. First of all, I would really look for somebody that is passionate. So, if you are out there trying to decide what you want to do, you need to figure out what you're passionate for. What would you want to do that it didn't matter if you got paid for? Or what do you do that you lose track of time with? And that is the person that I want working for me because they're going to perform better and they're going to have a higher purpose with the work that they're doing and they're going to be happier in their job, thus producing really quality work for me. So I really just want somebody who has a passion for what they're doing, the desire to serve others and serve a higher purpose, and just somebody who's naturally an action taker. So I think no matter what, if you're passionate about what you're doing, you're going to take action. Would I hire someone without a college degree? Yes, I definitely would. If they prove that they can do this job well, that they're a quick learner, that I could train them, and they seem to be catching on pretty quickly, I definitely would consider hiring them for a job. Um, Also, if they're passionate and they're kind of on the same page with me as what I'm trying to serve my audience with, I would definitely hire them. The current company that I work for is small. So we are a boutique style studio. We have 5 people just about working for them and 3 that pretty much just work full time on the apparatuses. So the pros to a boutique style is we can just text each other all the time, give each other information about each other's clients, cover each other really quickly anytime we need to, and just kind of have the same goals, have smaller meetings, go to dinner meetings together, quickly discuss clients together, and throw ideas around together easily because we can all meet much easier than a large group per se since our schedules are all really busy. Cons would be not a lot of outside support. So we have to do a lot of extra cleaning, a lot of our own scheduling, a lot of like little computer tasks that doesn't entail actual teaching. So I spend a certain amount of hours teaching and then I have to like do all these tasks on the side, whereas a larger company would have a maintenance crew, a desk crew, a front desk answering the phone, a scheduler, and stuff like that. So that's just about one of the cons, I guess, of being in a small studio, a small business. And it says, if you were to give any advice to an 11th grade high school student on the fence about going to college, what would it be? So my advice would be figure out what you really want to do. Like I said, what makes you lose track of time? What do you have so much fun doing? What are you passionate about doing? And if you don't know yet, it is okay to take a year or 2 off of school and really figure that out. It's more important to figure out exactly what you want to do and then exactly what education or steps you need to do to get there than to just go to college and waste a ton of money and then not actually use your degree or switch degrees or not actually need it for what you want to do. So I highly recommend figuring it out. And if you haven't figured it out, feel free to take the time, listen to yourself, figure out what you're passionate about, and then take the proper steps to figure out the exact roadmap you need to get where you want to go. So I think that's about it. Thanks for helping me answer a few questions for you, and I look forward to chatting with you again. Thanks.